Welcome back, everybody, to the Pass Club. We got a great show today. If you like the color red, if you don't, stick around anyways. We're going to recap Georgia, Tennessee, dive into all the craziness this college football weekend, chop it up about NFL, get into a new segment called Sport Court, get back to our good boys, which we had a very good weekend last week, so you want to stick around for that. Then look ahead to next week's college football games and end it up with the Blurby Derby. All righty, let's do it.
Welcome to the Pass Club. The Pass Club, the Pass Club, the Pass Club, the Pass Club. The Pass Club, the Pass Club, the Pass Club.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Exciting week last week. I'm here, as always, with Elkin, the Pelkin,
Howdy, folks.
and Mal. Go ahead. Say it. Go
Hey,
ahead.
man.
Say it.
All right, look. It's been a great Monday for me. I wore my Georgia jersey to Chipotle. I got a buy one, get one free Chipotle bowl. Had one for dinner. Gonna have one for lunch. The dogs win. It's been a great Monday for me. But speaking of Chipotle, boys, have y'all ever been to Chipotle? Order the same thing. You order the same thing every time. Is your total different every single time you go to Chipotle? Because I feel like my total is always different whenever I go to Chipotle.
I don't go too often, but I have noticed this. There was like maybe a 2-week span, because I have a Chipotle literally right outside of my apartment, like no joke, 10 yards from my apartment. And my parents were up here twice in about a 2-week period. And both time we got Chipotle, I ordered the exact same thing, and it was like at least a $3 or $4 difference.
That's what I'm saying. I genuinely feel like Chipotle's pricing structure is about as real as Florida's chances to win the national championship with DJ Lagalele at quarterback. It's absurd.
Yeah, he didn't look great.
He didn't look great at all.
I guess we'll kind of get right into college football here. Elkins, did you have any Chipotle? I mean, you don't
Guys,
seem like a
I'm not gonna
Chipotle
lie.
guy.
I'm gonna have to keep this short. I don't eat Chipotle anymore. It's all about Moe's.
Hey, welcome to Moe's, baby.
Hey
Welcome
man,
to
I'll
Moe's.
take my free chips with my order. Thank you.
Dude, free chips is big. No,
Hey,
You know,
I'll tell you,
I
shout
think
out.
the salsa bar, the aesthetic's better, in my opinion.
oh yeah, getting
And
yelled at every single time I walk into that place is just phenomenal.
yeah,
Well, that
you know,
and all the art on the walls is like this, like 2009 graphic design style of like burritos and tacos and like produce. So it's
something
pretty
you
sick.
don't get at the Chipotle, but both
No,
fabulous
Chipotle, they just get
restaurants.
you
Well-
this
well-
bag with Sharpie on it, you know?
Well, fun fact, I walked into my Chipotle today and there was, I don't even think it was a homeless man. It was just a man laying in front of the front door, passed out. Like, I'm not even making this up. I wish I'd have taken a video, but didn't want to disturb the peace. But yeah, there was just a man laying,
Disturb his
just sleeping.
peace.
Yeah, just a man, just flat out curled
Did he
up,
have a
like,
college
fetal
football jersey on?
He did not have a college football jersey on. I
Oh,
think
he
that's
messed-
why he was laying there.
Um,
He was just
he messed
terrified. He
up.
was so sad.
He messed
On
up.
on the contrary to him not wearing a football jersey, did he look anything like Billy Napier?
No, he did not look anything.
Was
Y'all
his
remember the
shaved
picture
at
of
an
Jim
awkward length?
McElwain? Y'all remember the McElwain picture where he's
where he's
curled
with
up
the
with the shark?
swordfish? Or was
Yeah,
it a
where he's,
shark?
yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
the position this guy was in. He was kind of in the fetal position.
Ass
It was
cheeks
almost-
were in though,
yeah.
right? Ass cheeks
Ass
were
cheeks,
in at
yes,
the Chipotle?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's good. That would have been
Uh,
brutal if you just walked in Chipotle and this cat's got his ass cheeks out on Jersey Day. That's tough.
Long Monday for some folks.
Long Monday. And he's like, they're just like, he works here sometimes. I don't know. Anyways,
you
Mel,
just want to get into
no,
it, Dylan?
let's get into it. You guys can probably hear my voice right now. It's not all the way there. I gave my all this weekend at the Georgia Tennessee game. And look, I'm gonna come out and just say this. It was a good environment. Not top 10 that I've heard in Neyland though. Not top 10. Really. I was talking to my dad about it. We were there. I was like, it is not nearly as loud as I thought it would be. Last year's South Carolina game or 2 years ago maybe, was way louder than the Georgia game.
That's kind
Yeah, I
of
don't know,
surprising to me.
but
I
go
mean,
ahead, Mal. What points do you want to make? You're
well,
the
I mean,
winner of
there's
this
really,
segment
I
here,
mean,
so you can
well,
kind of
it's
lead
not
us.
every day that you win the football game and then have to come back and eat crow the next week. Um, I didn't really make any bold statements, but kind of off the record, I did think Georgia was going to go in there and absolutely dominate Tennessee, and that is the furthest thing from what happened. Um,
Well, to your defense, they have not done anything but that up until this past weekend. It's just they've just dominated Tennessee every year. So you have every right to think that.
yeah,
It's not like a crazy statement at all.
but I mean, Joey Aguilar, I knew, and I even text. I was texting with Dylan that first drive. Georgia came out in kind of a deep zone coverage. Aguilar, he made the reads. We were not able to get pressure, and at that moment, that's when I kind of knew, oh, we are in trouble. Um, they go down, score. That second drive, we went into the man. Tennessee, and I'm not going to call it luck or anything like that because it wasn't luck. It was just a straight mossing. But there were 2 touchdowns where we were in deep man, and Tennessee just won the 1v1 balls, and they got in the end zone.
Chris Brazzell, have a day. He's a guy. Yeah, he's a guy that we expected a lot of last year, and it didn't really just ever pan out for him last year. It just didn't click last year. But let me tell you, that is one of the more impressive performances I've seen. Very Jalen Hyatt-esque. I will say their play style is a little different. You'll see Brazzell, break more on corners and stuff like that. But very impressed with Brazzell. Definitely surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to be him. And obviously Braylon Staley had a great game as well. That kid's going to be really special. Excited to see him. But yeah, I mean, it was brutal. I mean, from my section, I sent you guys the video, and I might put it in here, but you could, I thought it went in. Like everyone in my section thought it went in, and which is so strange because when you watch back on TV, it was not even close.
No.
But and then I started seeing the Georgia players celebrating. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like looking for penalties. I'm like, what's going on here?
Well, did you see Did you see the screen grab of the kicker before? What's his name again? I forget his name.
Max Gilbert. Yes, Max Gilbert, I did.
Gilbert.
And we'll get into this later, but I will allude to this more on my sport court pick, but yeah, that's brutal. That's just
kid never had a chance.
I have a full rant ready later, so.
But it, kind of from the Georgia standpoint, Gunnar Stockton had a day.
Wow.
Any doubters that he had he blew him out of the water. Have a day.
Yeah.
London Humphreys with the most clutch grab of the season, and probably will be the most clutch grab of the season for Georgia on that 4th down. I don't know if anybody heard Kirby Smart after the game, but Kirby basically came out on that 4th down and said they were playing the sticks, we were playing the end zone on that 4th down. And it makes sense. I mean, Georgia had the timeouts. They had the 2-minute timeout at this, so it made sense to play the end zone right there. But just the balls of Still to make that play call, and the balls for Gunnar to go out there and drop a perfect dot.
And he was dropping them, brother, all day. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was so impressive to see in person. The angle on his balls was insane. I mean, they were legit just dropping in. Especially you saw that one. I think it was like a 4th and 6, and he ended up hitting that corner. Dude, he just dropped it in for a touchdown. It was very, very impressive live. He looked really good. I didn't realize not that you couldn't tell in person, but I didn't realize his completion percentage was so high throughout that game. It was insane.
But, and I mean, obviously all the Georgia fans are going to kind of point towards the defense and go, the defense needs to get better, yada, yada. I think we just ran into an incredible offense, quite frankly. I mean, Tennessee is a high-powered offense, and Aguilar ran that offense about as good as he could. Where I kind of look and go, Georgia desperately needs to get better, and this kind of leads into the past 2 weeks as well as in the red zone. I mean, we went down 3 red zone trips and only came away with 3 points. And you cannot do that and win football games. Somehow Georgia won the game, but if we're going to continue to win, if we're going to beat Bama in 2 weeks, we have to convert in the red zone.
And I will say that is where, historically Tennessee's defense has really struggled, has been in the red zone. So I don't know. We will know here in a few weeks, but wouldn't surprise me if somewhere down the road this happens again.
What, Georgia and Tennessee see each other again? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we not saying there's a reason we lost because we played good enough to win the game, so it really can take that out of the equation. Get both of our corners back. get three of our starting defensive tackles back. I think we got a good shot to win the rest of the games this year. Alabama's the only really one I'm like, I don't know, but I don't know. We'll kind of see what happens. But Elkins, what's your outsider take? You were you didn't have a dog in the fight, so to say, but what did you see on Saturday?
It was a phenomenal game, beginning to end. It was fun to see Joey Aguilar execute well at times. As an outsider fan, being a Bama fan myself, these are two teams that I'm happy we get to see this year. There's talks of Bama not playing Tennessee somewhere in the future, and that just makes me want to shake my head because it's always been a fun game from the Bama side of things growing up. But in recent history, Tennessee has evolved, and Heupel is the one you got to give praise to in that. For Georgia, they showed tremendous resiliency in that game. There was a multiple times where I thought Tennessee was going to pull away and make it 3 scores, and they just kept hanging in there and rolling with the punches. So it was a great game. I think you made a good point, and this is a rematch we could see whether it's in the playoff. I don't think we'll see it in the SEC championship. There's just lots of games to be played.
A lot of games.
But playoff, that's completely on the table. I think both teams showed that they can be in the playoffs still. Tennessee injuries, can be the difference in games like this, but I had a lot of fun watching it, and Vegas had a lot of fun watching it as Georgia didn't cover by half a point, and Georgia won. So it was the perfect storm for Las Vegas. And just to finish my thought there, it's crazy that there's quarterbacks like Tyler Buckner that play D1 college football, and then you've got those two phenomenal quarterbacks at Georgia and Tennessee who put on a show for the public.
Why don't we just go ahead and get into Notre Dame anyways?
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
I was going to make
that's a great segue. Go ahead, Mal. Wrap it up.
The last point I was going to make, just to close it out, and it really doesn't have to do anything but how many of these just instant classic games has Georgia been a part of over the past 5? I mean, whether it be the national championship against Alabama, the Rose Bowl, the Peach Bowl against Ohio State, Bama last year. I mean, Georgia just seems to find themselves in these classic games, and more often than not, they win. And that is why Kirby Smart is the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, and I love that man to death, and he has changed that culture from losing those games to now we just find a way to win them.
And he always has you in a good position into the games. That's the most impressive part. Things will not go your way during the game, but you're still there. So that's just a sign of a great coach.
Well, they might have cursed the kickers because, I mean, there's been a lot of missed field goals. A lot of missed field goals against Georgia's in positions to win the football game. So,
well, let's talk about missed field goals. Let's get into Notre Dame. Wow. Gents, I gotta take on a gripe with AP poll here. You cannot rank an 0-2 team. I don't care if they lost to the number 1 team and the number 2 team back-to-back weeks. You just can't do it. Not this early in the season, especially when they've showed nothing. It's too early. They have not won a single game. Tyler Buckner, this kid, how many years ago was it he was at Alabama, Elkins?
He made his first start for Alabama. Yes, he started a football game for Alabama
UCF,
at
right?
South Florida.
USF. Yeah.
At South Florida in the rain game. He quickly showed that he should probably watch the rest of the game from the bench. And Ty Simpson came into the game and got his first meaningful reps in a college game and inevitably won the game for us in an ugly fashion. But wow, it didn't shock me one bit to see him throw the game away. I was not shocked. I know the Notre Dame fans were shocked, but stick to lacrosse.
Those are not baubles. Those are not baubles you usually see from the holder. That's a position usually. I mean, that's quite literally your only job, and usually they even give it to backup quarterbacks, which he is. But it's it's a tough look for him. Got to stick to lax, but I just can't see Notre Dame. There's just no reason they should be ranked.
And I mean, the sad part about it is Notre Dame will most likely finish 10-2. And we will have all forgotten, or we won't, but the the College Football Playoff Committee, most of college football talking heads will have all but forgotten about this just drastic 0-2 start, and Notre Dame will find their way in the playoffs. Of course, I can't really talk shit because Notre Dame absolutely manhandled Georgia last year, so I can't really talk on that, but as of right now, this team should not even be in the conversation, much less be a top 25 team.
They get
Well,
it seems like they get a pass every year. I mean, last year, NIU at home, I don't care if you win every game except for that one. That's like so unexcusable. And it's like, I think it's just because they're independent. And I'm so sick of it. I'm a Notre Dame hater. I'll come out and say it. It's part of the reason I picked the Aggies last week. I don't believe in Notre Dame. I've never believed in Notre Dame. All the old heads will come around and tell you, well, hey, back in the day, man, Notre Dame was great. They were so good. Well, guess what? This ain't back in the day. It's the same reason with Tennessee. We ain't been good in a long time until here recently, and we're still not national championship contenders. So until Notre Dame proves me wrong, which they have yet to do, I'm good. No thanks. I'm not a Notre Dame guy.
Yeah. And then talking about proving wrong. Oh,
it's one of those things, we will see it here at the end of the year. You were spot on. There's no question they're going to be on the fringe line at 10-2. We're going to watch this A&M team play the rest of their season, and I'm willing to make a bet that if A&M has a good year, Notre Dame will make the playoffs. A&M's in the playoffs, Notre Dame's going to get in 10-2. If A&M goes 8-4, Notre Dame's probably going to be one of the last few teams out if they're 10-2. But the quarterback play there has been really poor. So ideally, they just lose another game to make everyone's life easier.
I would love it.
Speaking of fringe college football teams too, Clemson.
Dude.
Yo.
You read my mind, Dylan. You read my mind.
I knew that's where you were going to go.
About my dog last week, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I do want to point something out, though. Kind of a shame on Georgia Tech. So I watched the Georgia-Tennessee game at Park Tavern in Atlanta. During the Uber ride, I was watching the Georgia Tech game in the Uber on my phone. I looked to the left. I'm like, oh, that's Bobby Dodd Stadium. So I look in there. A lot of empty seats and a lot of orange and purple, man. A lot of empty seats on the upper deck. So you're talking top 25 team coming into your house, and y'all can't pack that stadium?
And it seems like there's some excitement around Georgia. There's been some.
That's the
even
thing,
before the season started. Haynes King, you had people, not a punchline joke here, but buzzing in Atlanta. That's just the only word that came to my head. So, strange.
It was really odd. I mean,
one of the better moments I saw from this Saturday was obviously the fire drill field goal. Oh my goodness, that any football fanatic sees that, and gosh, there's a lot of things I could say as a football fan, but the moment between the head coach and Haynes King at midfield, and it being zoomed in and it pans out on the whole field storm, and it was just a beautiful scene.
That is probably one of the coolest shots in college football in a long time.
Gave me chills as a Bama guy. It's just really cool moment, and I'm rooting for Tech. I hope they have a great season. Haynes King is sweet. I talked about it last week. He's displayed grit through his whole career, and yeah, props to them.
I want to talk about. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I know we kind of made a joke about it last week, but did Dylan really curse down?
Hey, look, boys. Neither Orange did well this weekend. So,
I think what might have happened
0-2 on the weekend.
Well, I was going to say, I think what might have happened is because you said "Go Tigers" wearing a Tennessee hat, you might have rubbed that Tennessee fan curse off on Dabo. That could be what has happened.
I think the spirit of Nico has entered Cade Klubnik's body at this point. That man looks possessed, and not in a good way, folks. Bad ways. Him and we'll kind of get into this too, Arch Manning has looked horrible. Both of these guys come in. I mean, there were so many media outlets, boys. So many media outlets that were just handing the Heisman to Cade Klubnik. And I remember I texted you guys. I said, for the life of me, I cannot understand I understand they're part of the media. It's their job to create headlines and get things moving on the season. But if you go back and watch Cade Klubnik's tape against teams that are not complete pushovers, aka 95% of the ACC, you'd quite clearly see this kid is not great. And I that's my opinion. Ever since, I don't know, he was a freshman, but there's certain things you see on a football field and people. And when Tennessee and Joe Milton played Clemson in the Orange Bowl, that kid just did not have it. And they kept showing his parents. That pissed me off too. So he's been on my shit list for a while. But yeah, he has not panned out, and Arch has looked real bad. So that's my rant. Cade Klubnik, not a fan. Clemson, not a fan. Dabo, if you buy me a drink, I can maybe take the juice off.
Don't show
Dylan,
the freshman
hey.
quarterback's parents at the game.
I was gonna say, you
Don't
know which
show.
quarterback has looked good though?
Elkins. Ty
Elkins.
You
Simpson.
know,
How are you feeling right
go
now as an
ahead.
Alabama fan?
Take
How are
a
you
victory
feeling?
lap. Take a
How are
victory
you
lap.
feeling right now?
there's nothing to be happy about. It's week 3 and they don't hand out fucking shit here. We don't
That's
care.
saving inning.
maybe,
We
That's that
played
saving
we played Wisconsin and they scored 14 points too many against us. And to be honest with you, we've got, if it's not the best wide receiver room, it's top 3. And Ohio State's pretty great. They got like 1 or 2 guys. We got some guys that can run routes, and I think we've got 3 quarterbacks that could have looked as good as Simpson at times, but Simpson didn't miss any balls. He had pressure coming in his face and pause, but he delivered.
yo.
He was throwing dots. Some of his stat line was
He was what was he doing?
throwing some dots, man. That's what he was doing. His stat line was a little bit boosted from some screens to, dynamic playmakers here and
There's
there.
nothing like a good screen.
It
Yeah.
seemed like Ryan Williams had been missing in action for about a year since, we played Georgia late September last year. He hasn't looked good since that Georgia game, and he was dropping balls earlier this season, bad ones against Florida State, and he had a good game, so that was encouraging, and it helped Ty a lot. So it's something they got to continue to grow on. But yeah, if you're including guys like Nussmeier in the Heisman race, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to give you an opportunity to walk back a take that was said last week, Elkins, that Gunnar Stockton would be quarterback 4 at Alabama. Would you like to walk that take back, or are you standing firm on that take?
I still like it. I think Gunnar.
Okay.
Gunnar.
4?
Okay.
Not even 2? 4? 4?
He said they have
interesting.
3 better quarterbacks at Alabama.
It's
Gunnar
interesting.
Stockton.
I've got probably 1 million people that agree with me.
And they're all Alabama fans, by the way,
They are.
guys.
They are, and that's okay.
The delusion runs strong down there in Tuscaloosa.
Tyler Buckner started a game for you not too long ago.
That's right. But Keelan Russell, he's really good, and you'll learn soon. It's okay. He's a freshman, so that's where if I want to walk that take back, it's because of the experience level of Keelan Russell. Austin Mack,
Okay.
he's got a lot of raw skills too that hasn't been displayed either. So
Well, the good news is, and I don't want, we don't want to jump ahead, but we get to find out here in a couple weeks. So
I was about to say next week's
That's
going to be a
the-
big show. This has
that's
always
the-
been a big moment between you two.
yeah, if there was anything I wanted to add to that Tennessee Georgia game, it's that shit. If Georgia and Alabama have that many points scored in the game, it's
I'd
going to
be
be a
surprised.
hard watch. I think we talked about the under being a lock last week in the Tennessee Georgia game, and
yeah.
boy, were we wrong. I think Gunnar showed the public that he is a true competitor, and I hadn't seen that yet in his tenure at Georgia. So absolutely props to him, and I think he can bring this dog team a long way. He's got to continue to grow, but his confidence is there after that game he just put on. He's found his guys. And that's really been the thing for these Georgia quarterbacks that have had real success. Stetson had Ladd and Brock, and go watch their NFL tapes. They're
I mean,
some of the
hey,
best.
Gunner found his white guy in London Humphreys.
And I loved the video I saw from Kirby Smart this week of uh, London went up to him and was like, "Coach, why didn't you cuss me out?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "'Cause you're too damn nice, son."
What do we
And
expect from a Vanderbilt transfer, man?
yeah,
That's so weird.
he's too polite.
Let me tell you something, Vanderbilt. I, a Tennessee fan, have always hated Vanderbilt for certain reasons. And now that they think they have something to say, they're unbearable, guys. Unbearable. I mean, let's be honest, none of their wins are good wins. Lenore Sellers didn't play but what, a quarter and a half?
Yeah, he played, I think, 3. He had a touchdown and interception. Or did he have a touchdown in that?
I think he only had 7 attempts or something like that.
I mean, he did not play long, but Vandy's offense, as much as it's hard for me to say I don't like Diego Pavia because he's got moxie, he's got grit, he's got everything you want out of a story for a quarterback. He reminds me kind of the Stetson story, just that moxie, grit, determination, gonna go get it done no matter what.
20 times.
But he's unbearable.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's let's see, how mean do I want to be? Basically, he's your Walmart brand Baker Mayfield.
Walmart feels generous. Walmart feels generous.
If the eggs had been left out for a week and they spoiled.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dumpster brand. It's like great value after the value's gone.
I will say, I walked into Walmart last week to get some boiled peanuts, and it has been a while. It's been a while since I've been in Walmart. It was devastating. It shook me to my core. It's just to see Walmart in the state it's currently in.
I feel like that's been an issue for a while now. I mean, there's not a time where I stroll into a Walmart and I'm like, oh yeah. Every time it's like something inside of me is like, just be on the lookout.
Danger.
And I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, it's a Walmart.
And it's not even like, like the people inside of Walmart, they're great people inside of a Walmart.
Yeah.
But there's just something about Walmart that makes you feel uneasy. Say,
it's just everything's a little weird. It's like very North Korea-ish to me in terms of, like, in my Walmart, they put in like a coffee station, but it's like called Space Bean or something. But it's like a pristine, but no one's ever in it. Like, no one's even behind the counter ever. I've been multiple times throughout the day. No one's ever there. And then they just put in a like music studio. I live in Nashville, by the way, so this is probably why. But they have like a music studio, a video game recording thing, like a podcast recording thing in the Walmart. I'm like, this is not college. This is not the library. It's so strange.
Can we record a
podcast?
Can we record one of these in the Nashville Walmart?
Probably not. I'm gonna say no.
I mean, it can't be that expensive to book that room, right?
Oh, you're talking there. I thought you just meant like in the damn shelves, brother. I don't know what you meant.
No, we're not going to A17, brother.
Like, have you guys seen those videos where the people lift up the things and there's like 20-year-old Pokemon cards? People just like, we would just be in there podcasting, like, yeah, just there for an eternity. But
yeah, Diego Pavia to Nashville Walmart, but
pretty fair assumption.
As a fan that knows a little bit about playing on the road, I'm gonna give Diego a little bit of props here. It's not easy, and Bama lost at a construction site against Vanderbilt last year. Stadium wasn't even close to being built. To Diego Pavia, so really, really pleasing result for Vanderbilt. I think they should be riding it high. I know that's something that discuss you, Dylan, but time will tell on their season. I saw people saying their ceiling is SEC champs, and that made me about throw up. That made me about throw up. So,
this is why they're unbearable, because then they get on Twitter and the actual football team. I'm not talking about the Barstool account. I'm not talking about a beat writer's account. The actual football team's account, because they got ranked in the AP poll, it says number 20 Vanderbilt Commodores in their name. Like when you see a tweet, it says number 20 Vanderbilt Commodores. That is so pathetic. That is so pathetic.
It comes back to the act like you've been there before, and they haven't been there before, so they don't know how to act.
Yeah, they're
And
tweeting like
sometimes,
"Stop digging in your butt" twin videos, and it just says number 20 Vanderbilt football on it. Give me a break. These people
I would
are
say
jokers.
act like you've been there before, but
they
they haven't.
Yeah. I tell you, who wants to go there is Theo Vaughn. He's hitting on Diego Pavia's mom. I don't know if you guys have been seeing that. I'm all for it. Whatever takes that little twerp's head out of the game, go for it. Take his mom out 2-3 times, whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
But acting like you've been there, Brian Kelly, brother, what are we doing?
Whew. That's a broken man. It doesn't matter if they have not lost a game yet this year. That is, as men, we know. When you snap, brother.
Yeah.
And you just don't snap for nothing. Like, he's been in way worse positions before. Like, at this point in the season, he has not done. He's done some crazy, he slammed the table. He's done stuff like that. But this is like
he crashed
personally attacking people. Yeah,
like, you go, okay, your offense does not perform the way it should perform. You win the game, so you should be happy. Hallelujah, praise God, you didn't lose to an awful Florida team in Death Valley. But then you come into the press conference after and just expect it to be all sunshine, rainbows, and shit and fucking unicorns out there. And whenever a damn beat reporter says, "Hey, Brian, what's going on with the offense?" You just flip your load on him, and you just crack. He acts
you
like
do
he's
what now?
never. Pause. But he acts like he's never been in a press conference before. I'm shocked he didn't put the old fake Southern accent on whenever he's trying to record or answer that question.
I thought we were family.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, dude, like, everybody saw that video, right? Of him just absolutely losing his mind and crashing. I mean,
I did. I felt like he, maybe in his off season he watched some clips of Saban getting mad at the media because Saban's told some reporters to go ask the question to a Coke bottle, because it was so dumb. But I think he might have been trying to look like that in his interview, but he looks childish sometimes in these interviews, and he has every right to be really upset, but definitely some questions on that.
He looked like he looked like a 5-year-old in the Nashville Walmart because he didn't get a freaking pretzel.
He didn't go to Coffee Bean or Space Coffee.
Yeah.
He didn't go to
Space Laser, whatever the hell.
He's pissed.
Geez,
Space Laser Coffee Company next to the music studio in Walmart in Nashville.
It was it was one of those college football Saturdays though where you got to be grateful for these ones. I know it was a low point walking out of Neyland Stadium for you, Dylan, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, Tennessee looked great.
They could have went way worse.
They look great, and they lost the game, and that sucks. The other games that happened throughout the day, wow, we were lucky to get to experience this Saturday, and bravo to the script writers or whoever did it.
Well, I was going to say, I do have a confession and something I want to get off my chest. I feel awful about this. In my intoxicated win this past Saturday, I may or may not have hit an LSU squatted down double bird flip off to a group of 4 Tennessee fans. And if you guys are listening, I genuinely apologize. I know I came up and apologized after, and we talked, but I feel bad about that, man, because just if you're gonna flip somebody off, stand up straight and give them one good, one of those.
You gave him the good old Hobbits.
I gave him
ones and twos.
Well, you remember the LSU guy that got his ass kicked? Yeah, I gave him the full squat double bird, and that was after about 12 beers, but. We don't blame alcohol for what we do on this show. We man up and we take responsibility. So if you guys are listening, I'm sorry.
And then last game, I just briefly want to touch on USF. I think I said it last week. I don't remember if did either of you guys agree with me. I just kind of felt like this was a spot where this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Miami's a good team, so not surprised there. But you hate to see them fall out of the top 25, especially when we still got Notre Dame in there. But let's switch it over to NFL real quick. I don't think there's too much to talk about this weekend. It seemed pretty just riding the waves, getting through it a little bit. I just want to say Cam Ward, what a first touchdown. Holy hell. 9 times out of 10 that pass pro doesn't get caught, that's fine, but still very impressive. So that was sick to watch, just to be like, we have a guy that can play football. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool moment when you're just sitting there and like your quarterback is not completely useless. That rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
one of
mean,
those things. Sorry, Mal, but this Alik Iomanor guy, if you remember just a couple short years ago, that catch he made on Travis Hunter at Stanford, this guy's got it. And if he can develop some chemistry with Cam Ward, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. And that was a nice catch, a equally good throw. I liked what I saw from Tennessee. You know, still some pieces to figure out on the O line and defense, but that's all I
Hey,
got.
I was gonna say the touchdown throw was great, but how about that one across the body? Was that last week actually against Denver?
last week was that, and then this
Yeah, and
week
then
there
this
was
week
one where
was
he
the-
was going down and he like pitched it. Yeah,
Yeah. He
Still
did the
sick,
Will
though.
Levis.
He did the Will Levis, but
He
it
did the
actually
Will
worked.
Levis.
So that's already a win right there.
That's hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. Mal, Juwan Johnson, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so to all my fantasy people out there, I have a few buddies that are in other fantasy leagues. I said, guys, if y'all can get Juwan Johnson at that tight end spot, because he was undrafted in a majority of leagues, go and snag Juwan Johnson. I snagged Juwan Johnson and made the call to start him over David Njoku this week, and by golly, did it not pay off for me. 15.9 PPR points for Juwan Johnson. We're looking at a tight end that if he's still on the reserves in your league, go snag him up right now. He's got 20 targets through 2 games. He is on pace to be over 120 to 130 targets as a tight end in this Saints offense.
Unreal.
If you got a chance to go snag him right now. And if you've already got a good tight end, I don't care. Go drop somebody else and snag Juwan Johnson, because then you got a trade piece. But Juwan Johnson may be tight end 1 at the end of this year, and that's a hot take, but I think Juwan Johnson's going to finish this year as tight end 1 in fantasy PPR.
Woo!
That's
Anybody else?
I
Anybody else got any fantasy takes for me?
don't really.
I think
have any
this
fantasy takes.
this was a great week for the tight ends. Tucker Kraft, shout out too. He's been moving that ball for the Packers, and that's a team that looked great in the NFC North, but other teams that look good in the NFC North despite their Week 1 loss.
Lions.
How about them Lions?
Yeah. Look, I know last week we said things were looking pretty abysmal. And look, I'll level it here. Lions are still a good team. But damn, the Bears suck. I really think the Bears just suck. I don't know. The Bears are bad, boys. Bears are bad.
Should Caleb stop painting his fingernails?
Do you think if you, I wonder how much weight that adds. I know it's like little to nothing, but.
I mean, it's that butterfly, butterfly flaps its wings, Caleb Williams paints his nails, and the next thing you know, the freaking Bears are in store for another 10 years of depression and anxiety.
Yeah, I think he's got maybe one more year, and then they're probably like, And also, I'm surprised Poles is still there, their general manager. That's pretty shocking to me.
Well, I mean, my thing about the Bears is, and it really goes with any team that drafts a quarterback with their top pick, unless you put somebody around him, he's never going to be successful. I mean, we're seeing it in Carolina right now with Bryce Young. Bryce Young is a great quarterback. Bryce Young is more than capable of playing in the NFL, but he doesn't. His best target at wide receiver is a rookie tight end, a rookie wide receiver in Tedero McMillan, and he's having to just force the ball to him.
Yeah,
you know that. Trevor Lawrence was never really given a fair shake in Jacksonville. I mean, they're starting to look a little bit better, but
now Brian Thomas, their wide receiver, doesn't even want to catch the ball. He's scared of getting hit. Yeah. You guys watch that game? He literally was so scared of getting hit, he would just drop balls. It was kind of nuts.
I'm going to go on the contrary to you here, Mal. So Joe Burrow was taken first overall, and Jamar Chase was his missing piece and complimented him very well. I've got another player in mind that paints his nails that could be catching passes from Caleb Williams, and maybe they have a unique connection that elevates them to a Super Bowl, and that's Ryan Williams.
That is true.
Caleb Williams to Ryan Williams to Ryan Williams.
But back on your Joe Burrow point there, where's Joe Burrow now?
Probably sleeping with a model. I don't
No,
know.
yeah, probably, yeah, but missing
He's doing
the
just
next
fine.
3 months because they did not put an offensive line behind him
Correct.
or in front of him, not behind him.
The Super
Well,
Bowl
actually, no. They
appearance.
might as well put him. They might as well put the damn offensive line behind him because they ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be about the
good
same
God,
difference.
have mercy.
They somehow did win that game, and it was courtesy of Jamar Chase's awesome fantasy performance as well. But
As a Bengals 3.5 better, I was very glad they won that game. But good Lord, have mercy. The Bengals they're in hell right now with that offensive line.
Yeah,
and this is for a few teams, but I know the Chiefs fans are saying this. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 0-2.
Ooh, little Taylor Swift
Mm.
reference. I love it.
boys, we got to talk about this. There has been some conspiracies, and you look. I have this little bubble on my social media platforms where it's just sports and very stupid memes, right?
Yes.
It's this safe little world I live in. I check it every day. I rip a few giggles. I work a little bit. I check a little bit. I rip a few giggles. And I work a little bit. It's a nice thing. It's a beautiful relationship. When something major happens, and I mean major, that is the only time it gets breached. Only time. Well, I start seeing these tweets. Taylor Swift, she's in the box. She's walking out, and they bring out this big ass. You guys see this video? They bring
Yes.
out this big ass folding wall and just block her off. That rumor on the street is the Twitter street, the X street, whatever you want to call it. There's a little Kelsey in there, baby. Little Kelsey.
We think. Do we have any resident? We need to get a resident Swiftie.
I
Just
don't
to
know
bring on
any.
this pot. I got one in mind. we won't discuss, but we do need a resident Swiftie to give us all things Taylor Swift.
We
I think
should
that'd
do a
be,
segment. We should do a segment where somebody. It should be a dude Swiftie. I don't know if those exist. I don't know if that's a real thing, but they can relay what's going on in the sports world in Taylor Swift terms. So they'd be like, let's see here. Brian Kelly is like Scooter Braun. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good Taylor Swift reference.
I don't know, but we do need to be more Swiftie inclusive. I feel.
Yeah, bring them in.
We
Hey.
love the Swifties.
That's 2 straight weeks of references from your boy here. So
That's what I'm saying.
I know the Chiefs
We
fans
are
are all
a
all
Swiftie
Swifties.
inclusive
So
podcast.
yeah, for the most part, these Chiefs fans are probably gonna dislike my comment about being 0-2. But hey, when your quarterback hasn't had a 3-game losing streak in like 5 or 6 years,
Cry about
go
it.
deal with it.
Yeah. Titans quarterbacks start out with an 0-3 losing streak before they even play a game.
Yeah.
It's just given to you. It's a birthright when you come play in Nashville.
I was gonna say, Dylan, as kind of a Eagles guy yourself, married into an Eagles kind of fan base. You
Yep.
know where this is going?
I don't know. Just go ahead.
How are we feeling about the Tush push? A lot of controversy surrounding the Tush push this week. And
Look.
most of it comes from the Chiefs fans that are just crying like little babies.
Yeah.
But there are some pretty damning videos out there that show that the Eagles might or might not be getting some jumps on these Tush pushes.
Okay. Yes. Look. This week, yes, the videos that have come out from this game, I would say yes. They did line up offsides. There was a false start or two. Look, I used to play offensive line. You used to play offensive line, Mal. We know this. You can't ask us to get rid of it. That is the essence of football in a play. It is, we're going to line up and we're just going to run it down your throat. And you got to stop it. And they don't. But yes, I agree. You got to take out the offsides by the linemen, and you got to take out them false starting, get an early jump. That's not fair. But also the defensive line does line up in the neutral zone like literally 3/4 of the time, and nobody says anything. So you can kind of play at both sides, but I will always be team tush push because it's just a pretty much you can't do anything about it, and that's why you're pissed. That's all it is.
Well, and I don't want to be an echo chamber here for my boy Jason Kelsey, but I was watching the pregame Monday Night Football tonight, and Jason Kelsey had probably one of the funniest comments I've heard in a while. He said, "We should just give the line judge binoculars. Then it would be impossible for them to miss a false start or somebody lining up in the neutral zone." I thought that's a great idea.
That's true. What are they looking at?
But
That's like
what I'm saying.
literally
Let's
their
just give
job.
them-
Yeah. No, he's 100% right. He's 100%
But
right.
yeah, I agree with everybody. You can't ban the tush push, but it does need to be watched a little bit closer, I feel.
That's a fair point. Yes.
And it does need to be officiated fairly.
Speaking of officiating, should we go ahead and jump into sport court? I'm very excited for sport court.
We can jump into sport court.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you see these penalties that aren't called on the tush push, and this is just to lick my wounds a little bit as a Broncos fan this weekend, but this flag came out probably 5 or 6 seconds after this ball landed on this 60-yard field goal that wasn't even close.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I forgot about this.
And
go ahead. Yeah.
they called leverage, which you can kind of see it. Is it a reach? Certainly.
Explain somebody what this
So
means. Somebody that might
there's
not
a
know.
lot of rules in football, and this is one of the rare ones. And it's where the snapper isn't supposed to be contacted. To the referee's perspective, listen, I'm not the most upset about this. 2 years ago, Denver went into Buffalo on Monday Night Football, and they missed a field goal. Referee throws a penalty late. It's a leverage penalty. A Bills player had his hand on the long snapper's shoulder and used the snapper to get leverage to jump up higher. And a Broncos player did that too this weekend, allegedly. Was it late? Yes. But it really came down to some dumb mistakes.
I was going to say, what are you saying here, Auburn? Are you saying that these flags are called in from some outside source?
I believe
what are we getting at here?
There are some tall buildings located in a very warm climate in the United States, and these tall buildings are there because they are a billion-dollar business and they take sports bets from people.
Okay.
Not going to name any locations, but
I was a little worried where that was going for a second.
And let's just say this location can phone into some of these games and get the outcomes they would like.
I was really worried where that was going for a second. You're not,
No.
Look, I love you guys, but damn, sometimes you just rip it. So
you can't put a filter. You can't put a filter on excellence, and that is what we're dealing with here in the Pelican. Just straight excellence. That's right. So anyways, carry on.
Yeah, sorry.
This place likes to phone in game. Whatever. Sports are rigged sometimes, and I'm sad my team lost. Let's go to sports court.
Okay. Sport court. Singular.
Sport court.
Singular court. Our court. Yeah, I'll kind of lead us off here because I have quite a gripe here. But just to let people know, sport court, we're essentially airing our grievances out for the week. We pick someone to fictionally sue. Disclaimer, we're not actually suing anybody, so don't get it twisted. This is just all
the
for
fact
fun.
that you have to say a disclaimer, we're not actually suing somebody, is sad.
Well, you never know. People are crazy, man. There's tall buildings and the heat.
God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy.
Yeah. I'll tell you who I'm suing this week. I'm suing Max Gilbert, the kicker for the University of Tennessee, and not for the reasons people think. Look, this kid has been great. He's hit a lot of kicks for Tennessee over the years. A lot of kicks. You miss kicks. It happens. I'm not that upset about it. What I am upset about, and we kind of touched on this earlier, you cannot look like that on the sideline. And you cannot look like that lining up to kick the kick. That is like way worse. That's way worse than him missing a kick. For me, because of the memes, I have to see it. Yeah. And whenever a kicker misses a kick now, that's probably going to be the format used. But you just can't look like that. You got to have some moxie too. It doesn't help the guy looks 15. Love him to death. He looks 15. He looks like Lil Sass.
He might be 15.
Yeah, he might be 15, but you just can't. So yeah, I'm suing him. You got to have a little bit to it. You got to know as a kicker in those late game moments, the camera's probably on me. You got to look like you know what you're doing. Because if you look like that and then you miss, it's a bad combo. So,
yeah, that made me think a little bit about Steve Sarkisian slapping Bird Auburn shoulders against Arizona State in the playoff game last year, and he missed. I would have liked to see a little bit more from Heupel or maybe some hype men around Gilbert here, but sue him up.
Well, I mean, I've always been on the standpoint of if you're a head coach, if you're somebody, don't talk to your kicker before a big kick. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let that man be with his thoughts. If you, and I guess this just comes back to, if your head coach is your dad, have you raised a pussy or have you raised a man? And unfortunately, I think Heupel raised a pussy in Max Gilbert. That is, and I feel bad for saying that because Gilbert seems like such a nice guy, but you shouldn't have to go hype up your kicker to go make a game-winning kick.
I will say he made a clutch field goal in overtime, and if he misses that, Tennessee might as well just go to the locker room if they miss that field goal in overtime. So he answered the call, and not he missed the more important kick. Obviously, that sucks.
Well, he missed the first call, and then they called him back, and he picked up. So,
yeah,
I think Dylan wins this lawsuit, and what should the restitution be from Max Gilbert to Dylan?
My restitution, just look like a dog the rest of the year.
Well,
throw on some eye black, that's all I want. You don't have to make every kick. That's an unreasonable ask, I feel like, out of anyone. So just throw on some eye black, have some moxie to you. That's all I want. That's my. I was going to say,
I think a proper restitution would be walking into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and making a game-winning kick on the third Saturday in October. I think that would be proper restitution for what he did this past Saturday.
So, my case is closed. Who's next?
Well, I guess I can go if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, as a fantasy football guy, I have a bone to pick. And I need to air some grievances with the Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell. More importantly, Dan Campbell's use of Amon-Ra St. Brown in a freaking blowout game. As a fantasy guy that happened to be going up against Amon-Ra St. Brown, who put up 39.2 fantasy points. I'm devastated. This game was never close. Amon-Ra should not have even been on the field risking injury. Yet you leave him out there to go and just stat pad. Now, part of this is probably due to how bad they looked in week one, but as a head coach, you should never be trying to prove a point while putting your players at risk. And yes, I am salty, only because I was playing Amon-Ra. If I had Amon-Ra, I'd be loving him right now. But
so you're suing Dan Campbell.
I'm suing Dan Campbell for his use of Amon-Ra St. Brown in the late game, allowing him to continue to stat pad. That is my grievance.
That's a long grievance. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of words.
The best lawyers just words. They just spill out words until shit makes sense.
Just word soup.
Just a word salad.
Words.
Salad.
There you go.
Yummy.
Elkins, what's your take on this? Come on. We're jurors.
I want restitution. I want restitution.
We got to, hold on. Before we get to restitution, we got to talk about the case a little bit. Elkins.
Okay.
This is his whole identity. I forget who it was. He was on the Eagles a year ago and plays cornerback, but he's now with the Detroit Lions, and he came to practice with the Lions and was confused why the Lions were tackling in practice, because a lot of NFL teams are non-contact in practice, but not Dan Campbell. He doesn't care. He had no fun week one, so if you got the fast cars, if you got the Lamborghinis, take them out. Drive them around, man.
Like Rashi Rice.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Rashi Rice. Just let them rip, baby. Okay, oof. Also, side note, them wearing free number 4 T-shirts, the Chiefs, despicable. What are we doing? That's a bad look.
For him, man.
But yeah, he's Mal, what would your restitution be? What do you want?
I mean, I guess I can't really sue the man for playing football.
Yeah.
So I think I might have lost this case, honestly, boys.
You might have lost that one.
I might have lost this. I might not be getting shit.
I mean, you're trying to sue a guy for being successful. Think about that.
I'm trying to sue a guy for being successful.
Yeah. I don't think you have any grounds to stand on.
I really don't. I just had to.
We all need to get gavels. We need gavels so we can just Brian Kelly, pop, 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 thing on tables. But all right, the Pelican. Let's hear your case, sir.
Well, for those of you listening out there, we've talked football pretty much this whole podcast. I don't want to talk too much about baseball, but holy shit. 5 days ago, Brian Snicker came out and said he's got some unfinished business. And, you know, I'm not going to sue him because I'm going to sue the guy that went out and signed a player that did performance enhancing drugs and got suspended 80 games. And as I'm speaking this sentence, the Atlanta Braves are 66-83. And one of their starting catchers, quote unquote, this was about 10 days ago, has been dealing with, what was it now? Hip injury?
Oh, you want the full story? All right.
Not the full story. I just want to hear what Sean Murphy was saying, that he's been injured and dealing with chronic pain.
Sean Murphy has been injured for the past 3. I will prove. Oh, I'll make your case for you.
Now
Sean
you got.
I just want to hear about Sean. I want to hear about
15
Sean
words.
Murphy.
Let's see if you can do it in 15 words, Mal.
Sean Murphy injured, 3 years, no tell team. Murphy play bad. Has have surgery. I did it in 14. Let's go.
That's
That's
pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
Sean
pretty good,
Murphy
bro.
has been dealing with a chronic injury, and he didn't tell anyone in his Braves tenure. And I'm going to sue Alex Anthopoulos, and it's aggravating. We've got probably one of the most talented lineups in baseball, and to be 66-83 halfway through September, somebody's accountable for this. And Alex Anthopoulos, your restitution is to mutually force Brian Snicker to resign because he does not have unfinished business. He's an old man. He needs to go prop his feet up and take it easy, man. Shout out the
Send it
Eagles.
down to Cancun.
I gotta agree with you there. That's a winning case.
I think that, but also go sign Boba Shat. Just go sign Boba Shat. All will be forgiven if you just go sign Boba Shat. It's all we need.
That's fair restitution.
I would sue Brian Snicker, but he's a World Series champion general manager.
You got to give him the Mike Gundy. You got to give him the Mike Gundy treatment at this point, even though Mike Gundy has not gotten Mike Gundy treatment.
Yeah.
You got to be
frustrating.
Like, hey, man, we appreciate what you've done. You slide the paper across the table. Here's a few $1 million. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah. For the 12 to 16 MLB teams that are still playing exciting baseball, I'm really upset the Braves aren't one of them. And y'all go have fun in October. But we got some football to enjoy this year, and that's got my focus. But I wanted to address that. If I'm suing somebody, and this is the first time we're doing this, and Alex Anthopoulos.
Love it.
I think you win that case every day of the week, brother. At this point, cases.
You've got Braves country behind your back.
Open
too,
shut.
Man.
Yeah. So, speaking of winning, we had quite a good weekend in our good boy picks. Just to preface, this segment's called Who's Good Boy, and every week we have to give 3 underdogs that we think. Each one of us gives one. You take those and you see where it goes. They have to be 6.5 point favorites. Last week, Mal, we had a little bit of controversy. Why don't you tell us what happened?
I realized what happened. So Monday, as we were looking, Haynes King was questionable for this game. So there was a lot of talk about Haynes King not playing in this game, and therefore the line was at 9.5. Overnight, Haynes King was announced that he was playing. That line shot down to 6.5, and then it quickly moved to 3.5. So yes, it should have been over 6.5, but we went ahead and graciously gave it to me anyways. It doesn't matter because I'm still dead last in the standings because these two boys right here made great picks. So all is well, all is forgiven.
Best pick of the week by far. Got to give it up to the Pelican. He had MTSU plus 9.5 against Nevada, and they went outright by 1 point. So therefore, he gets 10.5 bones. Give it up for Elkins. Very proud of you. That's a great pick, sir.
Golf claps around.
Yep. And then I followed up with I had Texas A&M plus 6.5. Told you guys I like them to walk into Notre Dame and get a dub, and they won by 1 as well. So now I have 7.5 bones.
Love it.
Yes, sir.
No clap for me. What?
I'll give
All
you a
3-1.
little
We're all
golf
three
clap.
getting golf claps. I mean, we went 3-0 straight
Yeah,
up.
everyone
That's pretty
wins
damn good.
outright.
If you would have taken the good boy parlay, you would have made some cash this weekend.
Oh yeah.
All 3 money lines. Yeah.
Not
you
gambling
would,
advice.
No, we don't
Not-
solicit that.
Not gambling advice.
And then, of course, Mal, you had Georgia Tech plus 3.5. Really,
What a pick. I mean,
what a pick.
That's more of a.
I clap for all, but very successful week, boys. Anything else before we close up last week and start looking ahead?
Hey, buzz.
Buzz. Elkins. I gotta say that's a monster pick. What made
Yeah.
you lean MTSU real quick, if you don't mind?
Well, I'm still a kid at heart, and when EA Sports drops a college football game, I'm making a dynasty, man. And I'll tell you who my team was this year. It was Nevada, and I play good. I'm great at the game. I still noticed some big holes on this Nevada team when I was playing with them, and
That's
Middle
great
Tennessee-
that you knew
I-
this because of a video game.
I thought. So I'll be honest. I saw the stat lines. Chuba Purdy had been dropping the past few weeks, and I had a lot of concerns about how he was going to be able to perform. I thought Middle Tennessee State had enough of the South in them to go out west and compete at least, to keep it within 9 at least. And they won by 1 point, but 1 point win is a win. And
Yep.
that's one thing I've always been told. A win is a win is a win is a win. And they're 1-2, and maybe they just needed a little bit of faith from the Pelican. But props to the guys. Maybe they can have a good year. I might be picking them again here. I like them.
Love it.
Speaking of the win as a
yeah.
win, did y'all see the Mike McDaniel quote?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. He said, "To win games, you have to win the game and not lose the game." What a quote! I mean,
I guess he had. I guess he had a word limit as well for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess
But
he
that
had
just
a
made me
word
think. I
limit.
had to bring that back up because that was an incredible quote.
Yeah.
But
All right. So yeah,
Elkins.
current standings. Elkins 10.5 bones. I have 7.5 bones. Mal has 6.5 bones. And just to let everybody know, once again, it's just by how much they cover by. So if they're 6.5 point dogs and they win by a point, they get 7.5 points, which is what happened with A&M this weekend. Elkins, you have the most bones, so why don't you go ahead and lead us off with your pick, and then I'll follow up.
We're going to go into Big Ten play here. I just watched a 60-minute game of one of these teams play, and wow, I think they made a few plays, but wow, their quarterback's going to have to play better this week, and I don't think he will. Maryland plus 9.5 at Camp Randall Stadium against the Wisconsin Badgers. They are plus 9.5, as I stated, and on the plus 280 money line. They've got a quarterback in Malik Washington who has thrown 6 touchdown passes and 1 interception. Alabama took care of the football, and they had no problem against Wisconsin. Maryland, they do not have the star power Alabama has, but if they have a quarterback that does not turn the ball over, they are certainly going to keep this game within 1 score, and winning it is not off the table.
All right.
That's my pick. I don't want to hold you guys up. Let's get right into Dylan's picks here.
All right. Yeah. Mine is an interesting one this week. This is also one I could see winning outright. And in fact, I think it's more realistic that they do win outright than lose this game and not cover. I'm going with the UNC Tar Heels. They're at UCF this week. I don't know. I saw that line and I'm like, 6.5. Look, UC 2.5, UC 3.5. You're thinking, okay, 6.5 is they're not winning the game, but it might be close. Give me Bill Belichick in this spot, and there's a multitude of reasons why. Did anybody see their second game they played? Any of you guys watch it?
I actually did not watch that.
They were playing
Well-
Charlotte, correct?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, that defense looks night and day. I know it's Charlotte, but it looks night and day. Really impressive stuff. I think they're going to figure it out. And look, I am not sold that this is a bad team. I still think they have more talent than UCF. Bounce house doesn't scare me. Shouldn't scare them. Yeah, I like UNC 6.5 dogs here, but like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they went outright.
I like it. Well, I'm going to be taking the bait and taking the bait hard on a plus 17 and a half Fran Brown led Syracuse team going
Wow.
into the fake Death Valley.
Wow.
Clemson is not a good football team. They're not a good football team. If
7.5.
this game was 10 and a half, I wouldn't have touched it, which is I think where it should be. I don't think Syracuse wins this game, but I do think Syracuse covers that 17 and a half, and I think they cover it by at least 6 points. Clemson did
Wow.
not look good. Syracuse, obviously, they had that scare against UConn, but I don't know if you guys saw the video. Fran Brown had those boys running sprints after an overtime game. They followed that up with a 66-point win, or not win, but they dropped 66 points on Colgate. Offense is looking much better, much improved. Clemson is reeling. They started the season 1-2. Should not have lost that game last week to Georgia Tech. Too much talent on that team, stacked with NFL talent, yada, yada. But if there's one thing that we should know about Fran Brown is that Fran Brown comes from the Kirby Smart tree of motivation. And Syracuse will be ready to walk into Death Valley and stare death in the face. And I'll be damned if I'm not going to take Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orange this week. Plus 17
Wow.
and a half.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean that's a bold. That's we've only been this is only the second week, but 17.5 is by far the biggest spread we've seen on the show. So it's exciting stuff. All right. And speaking of, since we're already looking ahead to next weekend college football, let's get into it. We got some big games. Some games we thought might be a little bit bigger, not as much at the moment. But let's start off with one. I think this has an argument to be the biggest game of the weekend: Auburn, Oklahoma. And I think it'll be a big game for a few reasons. We can kind of get into it, but is this a spot where Auburn just gets demolished? It's kind of given that vibe.
I don't think so. As much as it pains me to say, I genuinely believe that Auburn is an above average SEC team this year. Hugh Freeze has always had success in the SEC, and it was only a matter of time before Hugh Freeze built Auburn into a winning program. Again, I mean, Auburn has the history, they had the prestige, and by damn, they had the NIL money to put together a great roster.
Can I ask you a question? And this
Ask
is
away.
for both you and Pelican here. Just in comparison, do you think Auburn is a better team than Michigan right now?
Yes.
Yes, Pelican?
Right now, yes. I think Auburn beat a great Baylor team who is since losing to Auburn, they upset SMU on the road. And maybe SMU's trash, but I think Baylor's a not bad team who will make an impact in not the Baylor, but in the Big 12. So at this current time, I do like the Tigers a little bit, which what they say on my chest, I don't say that much.
Well, all three of our old quarterback once told us, I'm taking the team with the better quarterback, and right now Blake Corum not Blake Corum. Good Lord, have mercy.
Somebody watched the Rams game.
Lord have mercy. Crap. I'm drawing a blank here. Michigan's quarterback.
Bryce Underwood.
Bryce Underwood.
Bryce Underwood. There we go. Right now, Bryce Underwood does not look good. He just does not look good. He's a true freshman. Got thrown into the Big Ten. Walked into Oklahoma and just kind of shit his pants. I mean, he really did. They didn't really game plan that game well. It doesn't look like he can really spread the field out, throw the ball down the field. Meanwhile, Auburn, they're spreading the ball. They've got a quarterback that can actually take off and run the ball. And they've got the weapons around him to do something. Now, Auburn's defense, still not sure if I'm sold on them yet. But right now, Auburn's offense does look somewhat potent. And that's something we haven't been able to say about an Auburn football team in really a long time. So,
I mean, they used to be the other potent, like, kill you if you watch that bad.
Well, yeah.
Certainly. I think at least for me, this guy, when he was a defensive coordinator, he was one of the best in Brent Venables, and he's got a quarterback. So the way I see it, he's got to coach up this offense to neutralize Auburn a little bit. And even if it's just a little bit, he's got a quarterback who could elevate himself to the Heisman conversation, certainly. And I like John Mateer. I like Brent Venables. I think they had a lot of good things going for them last year. They had a very big statement win against Bama. Uh, you watch that game and whatever. 2024 Bama is a whole other conversation, but you got to give props to Oklahoma at times, and they finished the season strong. Um, I think this could be a opportunity for them to really expose Auburn on a lot of fronts.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm with
agree,
you
but
there. I think I tend to lean that way more than it being a close game. And it's just the way my brain works a lot of the times is until I'm proven, unless it's Tennessee football, of course, because I drink the damn Kool-Aid every time. Most things, it's until I'm proven otherwise, it's a fact. That's just how my brain works in pretty much every facet of life. Uh, I need to see it from Auburn. I got to see it. I'm not taking Baylor. I got to see it. I got to see it on a bigger stage. I got to see it against a better team. So,
I mean,
give me Oklahoma.
an underlying storyline here. I mean, and something I really hadn't seen talked about much is Jackson Arnold going back into Oklahoma, going back into that stadium. How much does he have to prove? Because he kind of got pushed out. I mean,
He did.
He got pushed out. So, I mean, how much does he have to prove? And that's one of the big reasons why I am leaning Auburn in this game is because you've got a quarterback who's got grit. I mean, Jackson Arnold has shown that he has a lot of grit and a lot of determination. I know we've kind of thrown grit around today quite a bit, but I think I would use gritty to describe Jackson Arnold. So, how much does he put on himself? But B, to kind of go back to why Oklahoma will probably win this game, how much extra does Jackson Arnold try to do that Jackson Arnold does not need to do?
Do too much, yeah.
And unfortunately, I fear that he's probably going to try to push the ball down the field a little too much instead of relying on his run. I hope I'm wrong because I do hope Auburn wins this game. I'm not a big Oklahoma guy, not a big Texas guy. Stay in the Big 12, assholes. But
yeah. Well, any wrapping up points on that one? Because we can kind of get to the next one, which kind of makes me barf in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I liked your point there, Mal. I hadn't thought of it with his revenge tour to Oklahoma. You know, that is a game within the game, as they say, and it'll be a fun one. I hope it's a great game, but I could see several different outcomes for it. But there's some other good games this weekend. Obviously, Bama and Georgia get to rest up.
Mm-hmm.
that is big.
Yeah, the bye week's the biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
This game, it's college game day, and for the Lord of me, I cannot figure out why it's college game day.
I guess they didn't want to go to Oklahoma.
Well, you've already been to Oklahoma, so
That's
they're not going to go there.
guess.
Illinois, Indiana would have been a better option, according to the polls. That's a top 20 matchup. So,
well, we've seen some of the AP voters and how they vote. So
I know that's why I said it in that
pump the
voice.
brakes
But
there.
Florida, Miami, DJ Lagway sucks. He's another guy. At the beginning of the year, people were just typing these articles up on him as quick as they could. People forget Billy Napier's this man's coach a lot of times, and that will make a man's brain do a lot of funny things, like throw 5 interceptions in one game. Carson Beck and Miami, they might actually fill the stadium out this week, whether it be Florida fans or mostly Florida fans or not, but they might actually fill the stadium out this week. So we'll see how Hard Rock's looking. But go ahead, why don't you guys break down?
Well, I mean, big games in Miami are always filled and they're always loud. I mean, Notre Dame, and I'm a big proponent of Sanford, but when I've got Notre Dame players saying that Hard Rock was louder than Sanford for their game, Hard Rock can get rowdy.
Those speakers do get loud, yeah.
But the big thing for me here is the spread on this game. Miami's sitting at -3 right now. Just feels off. It feels weird.
That does seem way too easy of a line.
And I think part of this kind of goes back, and we didn't really talk too much about the LSU Florida game, but Florida's defense looked good. Florida's defense looked really good this past weekend. Obviously, the offense wasn't there. DJ Lagalele is just an atrocious quarterback, but Florida's defense did look good. I mean, holding LSU's offense to 20. Now, how much of that is LSU's offense just kind of crap their bed, crap their pants, and how much of that is Florida's defense actually stepped up, yet to be seen. But I think that's partly the reason why we're seeing this spread so low. Not gambling advice whatsoever, but I'm probably going to be on Miami -3. I don't know about you guys.
Uh, I'll
Mm.
probably. I might hit. I got to look at the total, but
I mean,
yeah,
it's probably
it feels
it
like
feels
rat
like the
poison
square
for him.
bet. I mean, it feels like the square bet, but it's like you said, Dylan. Until you show me you can do it,
Yep,
I can't believe it. I can't believe it until I see it.
true.
I want to divert to a different game, honestly. I think Florida is making their bed and they're either going to lay in it this Saturday or they're going to have a great performance and somehow win this game. I think they've got the athletes still. They just have got to get over themselves. And, you know, I don't know what conversations they're having this Monday, but they damn sure aren't pretty.
Dude, what kind of blackmail do we think Billy Napier has on the Florida
I don't even
athletics
think it's
department?
blackmail as much as I think.
They're just too scared to admit they're wrong.
Well, I don't even think it's they're too scared to admit they're wrong. I think they're too scared of what will happen if they fire Billy because it would be hard to find a coach to go in there and want to clean up that dumpster fire. Quite frankly, um, I know if I was a prominent head coach or a prominent coaching figure, I wouldn't want to go into Florida right now. They just don't have a lot of talent. They don't have the culture's kind of falling apart. The fan base is kind of falling apart. It just doesn't. It's not a good situation in Gainesville, Florida,
That's exactly why I turned down the job in my Nevada dynasty.
right now. but
Well, that game's got a lot to figure out. I think Miami's obviously on the upside, and it's an important one for them. They need to definitely get a good result, or there's gonna be some upset Miami fans.
now, what happens in the state of Florida if Florida does beat Miami? Because you got Florida beating Miami, Miami beating USF, USF beating Florida. Who's the king of Florida? Florida State, I guess.
Got to be Florida State, right?
Got to be Florida State.
Florida State. I think if there's one team that's gonna want to see Alabama do good this year, it's Florida State.
Yeah.
But
Any
I
other
don't know.
games we want to? Any other games we want to break down?
You got the. Can I just talk like for a
Yeah, you
quick
got it,
10
babe.
seconds? Illinois,
Rip it.
Indiana. You know that game's so much more cooler on a basketball court. As a college basketball savant, I love college basketball. That game's way more cool on the hardwood. Texas Tech, Utah. Utah, I think's got a good squad this year. Texas Tech's got the money on their team. They spend so much money on their team through the oil rigs, all that bullshit. We didn't make note of this game, but it was almost my dog of the week. My good boy. The Tulane Green Wave is playing at Oxford, and that's a trap for Ole Miss.
Oh yeah.
I think y'all would rather talk about the trappiness of this Tulane game than Tech, Utah, Illinois, Indiana. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I do have a Utah. Can somebody check and see if Cam Rising has a 10th year of eligibility? I know he medically retired, but if we can get Cam Rising back out for this game, I think it'd be pretty chill.
That was
You guys.
That was a fun decade.
It was a
That he
great
was in-
decade.
he was
Cam
in
Rising,
college.
Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, every
Seriously, how
year,
long was
brother.
it? It was at least
it
6
had to
years, I
be.
think.
I gotta look this up. I want to
Look
say
this up.
7.
Look this
I
up. Me and
remember.
Elkins will chat about it.
I
right.
remember him playing in the Rose Bowl against Justin Fields like 5
Yeah.
years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's been.
Oh
like,
my lord. He played from 2018 to 2024.
Good Lord, have mercy.
That's crazy.
He's 26 years old right now.
Oh, speaking
older
of
than
26-year-old, speaking of 26-year-old quarterbacks, Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, he is old.
It's kind of strange
Joey
for a bunch of
football.
Tennessee fans that gave Georgia fans hell for starting a 26-year-old quarterback.
Joey football. I don't want to hear it. You beat him. Get over it. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Elkins. This kind of gives me the Kentucky versus Ole Miss game when Will Levis was there. Like people were just like, oh yeah, we got it. I think the spread might have been similar on that game as well. I think it might have been around 13 and a half from what I remember back in the day. I'm with you. They're scrappy. They are a scrappy team, and I don't know. Maybe I want to say Kiffin won't overlook them, but I know he will at the same time. Does that make sense? Absolutely at all.
He needs his players to not overlook him, and I think the
Yeah.
quarterback play has still been
Bad.
yeah.
It's hard to
bad.
replace Jackson Dart, man. I mean, Jackson Dart, say what you want, he was a great.
Yep.
It's hard to replace that production at the quarterback position.
And it's a little off topic, but the Giants Cowboys game, man, wow. Just thinking of Jackson Dart and where he is now, he was
Hey, let Russ cook, bro.
wow. Gosh, but yeah, that's one to definitely have circled on Saturday for an upset. I think Ole Miss will pull it out.
I believe so too.
All right. Well, hey, exciting weekend. I can't wait to take it all in. And yeah, should we get to Blurby Derby? Any other closing remarks looking ahead to next week? Anything NFL terms? I know we skipped over that, but
hey, Falcons finally have a kicker, baby.
They
Parker
do.
Romo.
Yep.
Civil War out west, Oregon State and Oregon. It's not going to be close, but
The Apple.
it's an important game.
Apple Cup
to a
too this
few.
weekend.
Definitely,
Yep.
yeah. Another
Apple
one.
Cup, too.
That just a few teams that aren't in the Pac-12 anymore.
Look at them. Well, all right, Blurby Derby. You guys know the rules. Let's explain it to the viewers. We have horses that we will race, virtual horses. Winner of this gets, what did we say, a minute last time? Yeah, it gets a minute to say whatever they like. They get the last remarks of the show. And all right, so let's go ahead and get it going.
Come on, baby.
All right.
As your defending Blurby Derby champion, I'm high.
Yes, Mal is the defending Blurby Derby champion. Last remarks here. Elkins, your horse is pink.
I love it.
Hey, I think the 2-horse won last time, so
It did.
bring
I
it
think
on.
it did. I don't like my color scheme nor my rider. Do you guys see this here? I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm very bland.
You got hot dog colors, brother.
Yeah, I'm very
Right
bland
here.
right now. Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Yeah.
Maybe he can.
All right.
Maybe my horse will go faster than a Georgia player drunk in a Hellcat.
Rashi Rice. Okay. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Come on, baby.
Oh.
Go.
I don't like this early lead. I don't like the early lead.
I like
Fall
being
back.
last.
Fall back. Fall back.
I think
Come
I finished
on.
last
Fall
last
back.
time. Come on.
Save the stamina.
Come on, baby.
Got them right where we want them.
Come
Got 'em
on,
right
baby.
where we want 'em.
All right. We're
Come
back a
on,
little
baby.
bit.
Come on, baby.
Come on.
Come on, baby.
Oh, Elkins. I think it might be
Come on.
Elkins.
Come
It might
on.
be Elkins.
Push
Come
it.
on.
I think I'm out.
Come
Oh,
on,
no.
baby. Oh,
There it
it's
is.
Elkins.
Here's
It's
the
Elkins.
push.
It's Elkins.
Oh.
Come on. Hold strong. Yes.
And it's Dylan.
Yes. Yes.
At least he got
Yes.
one win this week.
Yes. One win. We'll
Oh.
take it. All right. Shut up. Mouse,
I'll
shut
get
up.
the timer for you.
Thank you.
3, 2,
Yep.
1.
All right, folks, listen here. I got a lot to say, and I got a minute to say it, so I'm going to say it pretty quick. Max Gilbert missed a kick, yes. It was very detrimental to Tennessee and our hearts and our souls. Let me tell you something. This team, they look like 2022 out there. Maybe not as, boom, explosive, but they got the long ball. They got the reach. And there's one thing I want to say. Just believe in Joey Footballs, baby. And the fact that he's not on any of the Heisman boards, I don't look for him towards the top. He's got to at least be on there. I mean, that's disrespectful. The Vols will at least go 10-2. 10-2 is now the floor. It is now the floor. If we go to Tuscaloosa and we get a dub, we're looking at 11-1. Look out. That's all I got to say. Get our DBs back. Get our D-line healthy. Look out. Also, fire Brian Snitker respectfully. Shout out Elkins. I love you guys. That's how I'm going to wrap it up. That's all I got to say. And thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Pass Club. We really appreciate it. While you're here, if you're still here, if you are, shout out. You're a real one. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Just helps us out. Follow us on socials at Pass Club Pod. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week.
The Pass Club. The Pass Club. The Pass Club.